Hey, hello guys, welcome to Learn Eternity, a platform to learn anything, anytime.
In this tutorial, we are going to work with input group in Bootstrap. So what do you mean by input group? So input group is basically a kind of a control in which we extend a form of control inside in the form of button, checkbox or radio button inside a text-based inputs. So suppose we have a text box then and we wanted to uh, add some button inside the text box. We have to add the or extend or prefix pretend or append that button inside the text box. Then we can use the input button, input group. Okay, so let me show you an image that will explain you everything what input group is all about. Okay, so okay, so this is an image. As you can see here, this is the input group. So you have a text-based input username and we have something called as a span, which will assign a input group class in order to look like this. We can also use it at the both side, or we can use it as a right side or left side. Okay, we can also use input group with the checkbox, with the text boxes, and the radio with the text boxes. We have also facility to use a drop down or a single button with the text box or a double button with the text box depending on your requirement. So how to do that, how we can achieve this whole functionality is using the input group. So let's get started working with the input group. So I have created a small bootstrap file, that is HTML file with the bootstrap CSS, bootstrap JavaScript file and jQuery file. Okay, so in order to work with the input group, let me create first a text box. So let me tell you one thing. In order to proceed with the input group, working with the input group, just go ahead and watch first the form control tutorial. So working with the form in Bootstrap tutorial that I have created, and once you watch that, you can watch this, so you will get better idea. If you haven't watched, then watch that, and if you have already watched, then continue with this tutorial. Okay, so I'm just creating a small button that is input type text, and I'm just specifying a class of form control. Okay, and I'm just removing this name. Okay, so let me save this and just go ahead and refresh to the browser. So as you can see, we have a text box appeared on the screen. Okay, so let me just change this column, this 12 to column this 6, and let me make a call offset of 3, so it will be a centered line. Okay, just save and refresh. So as you can see, we have a small text box now. Okay, so this is the text box that we have created in Bootstrap. So now in order to add that button, that is a input group inside the Bootstrap, what you have to do is you have to create a div with the class of input group. So let me create a div with a class of input dash group. Okay, and just make sure you have this inside that input group div. Okay, once you do that, in order to add that little span with the user icon. I just wanted to append here a span with the class of input group add-on. Okay, so I'm just specifying that, and in this case I'm just specifying the dollar sign so you can get a better idea. So I'm just specifying that, and that's it. Let me just go ahead and refresh the document, and as you can see we have successfully added the input group to the text box, and this is at the left hand side. If you wanted to display that at the right hand side, and just go ahead and let me copy this text box once again, and just make sure that the input text box is first and then we have a span. So it will add, let me change this text, and it will add the span to the right hand side. Then we have a both side span can be created in Bootstrap input group. So let me just copy this span and paste it at the top, and just give this a text of dollar. Okay, just save with that and go ahead and refresh. So as you can see we have, let me just break the line. Okay, so as you can see here I have this one-sided input group and two-sided, both-sided input group we have. Okay, the next thing I just wanted to tell you that you can provide a sizing for this input group, and in order to make sure the sizing in the input group, we have to specify the input group sizing as input dash group dash lg. So it will make sure the input group is in a large size. If you wanted to make the input group in a small size, then you have to specify input group sm, and you have input group xs, that's the extra small. So go ahead and refresh that, and as you can see we have a 3 different size. Okay, so depending on your requirement you can specify the sizing of the input group. The next thing I just wanted to tell you, if you just go ahead and copy this text box, let me line break over here, paste that, let me remove this span from here. Okay, you can add a checkbox or a radio button inside the text box as an add-on. So in order to add that you have to use input type checkbox. Okay, just specify that inside that span, and just I'm just removing this sizing property, and just go ahead and refresh. So as you can see we have that checkbox with the text box. You can also specify it with the radio button, so you can create input type radio, and it will give you output as radio button. Okay, now you can also specify the input group as a button. So I'm just specifying this input group as a button. So let me change this input group to button, and if you specify the button, then you just have to change this input group add-on to input group btn, and once you do that you just have to specify class. I'm just specifying a class of btn and btn dash primary, and just specifying it as a go. Okay, just go ahead and save that and refresh. So as you can see we have a go button at the left hand side. If you want go button at the right hand side, just go ahead and remove this, and after text box you have to paste that. Okay, so just go ahead and refresh. So as you can see, we have a button with the input group. You can also specify the drop down with the input group. So you just have to create a drop down and place it at the span level. So you just have to split that drop down inside the span. Okay. The another thing that can be used inside the input group is a multiple button. So if you wanted to use the multiple button, then you have to specify that inside input group button itself. So I'm just creating a input group, and inside the input group I'm just specifying the input group button. Okay, so let me remove this first. Cut this and paste over here, and let me just copy that button one more time and give here as an action, and let me save that and refresh. So as you can see, we have a multiple buttons inside the input group. So as per your requirement, you can work with the input group in a Bootstrap.
So that's it for this tutorial. Hope you understand everything. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment below. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned. Till then, see ya.